Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. So Cardano in the end broke out to the downside out of this trend continuation pattern. As I said yesterday in the Cardano video to you, that I have to assume that we continue to remain in a downtrend until the downtrend is broken. Now the downtrend wasn't broken, the last high was not taken out, so we have continued the downtrend pretty much as expected. With this symmetrical triangle which I showed you yesterday. So pretty much what I showed you is that, yeah, this is here a symmetrical triangle. We had a decline in volume. Yeah, we saw a decline in volume. I think we saw that mainly on the 4-hour chart here. So I showed you yesterday in the video here this descending trend line and told you that typically when you on the volume indicator see that decline in volume, which is very typical to when you have a triangle in which the volatility is reducing and the volume is reducing, that at some point then during that or in that apex you're going to get a big move. My view was this could happen on Monday, or this could happen just before the Sunday candle close, and we can see, well, yeah, it did actually happen, but it actually happened, yeah, a little bit after midnight. So anyway, it broke out of that, it broke out of the apex. That was of course a possible trade setup for anybody who took it, because it was quite likely to break here to the downside. As we said, we had a lot of resistance to go through. So we had here the 61.8% FIB level at 97 cents. We had the resistance of the previous high here at 98.7, and we had here this cluster of resistance as well around the $1.01 mark, where we had here support, we had here resistance, we had here resistance. So support here, a lot of support at the $1.01 level. So yeah, it was difficult for Cardano to turn to the upside. It then followed the current downtrend, and we are going to have a look at where the potential price target might be for that move. So let's just take a look at where we currently are here in this move down. We see that there is a significant support level here at around 78 cents. Let's use the VPVR indicator to get an understanding of if there is any more support along the way. And I think if I zoom in a little bit, what you can see is that significant support is around that 78, 79 cent level that I did mention. So would expect, even though there is a bit of a noise of support here in the area where we currently are, all the way down to, yeah, to 81 cents. I think this is where really the support starts. Here you can see the red line that is going to provide a lot of support around 80 cents. Now, if I zoom out, you can see that historically here we had an area of trade as well. So there is volume, there has been volume historically, but really most recently, I think the peak really is down here at 80 cents. So that is primarily where I would expect here the price to go to, at least. Yeah, if we take a look here at the Fibonacci levels just from the last move, yeah, and I go to the low and go to the previous high, that would pretty much be very, very similar, in line with that, because the next, or we can add actually the 1.272. Let me do that just for here. So these are obviously the Fibonacci extension levels just of that one move, yeah, where we can expect a next possible price target as well. And we can see here that is as well the first main Fibonacci extension, which is the 1.272 Fibonacci extension. That is here at around 79 cents. So that is an important level of support if Cardano can reach it. Of course, if you can see any signal before that the price might be turning around, it might be worth thinking about taking some profits out of that short trade if you entered it. Now with that possible trade setup here, I made you aware that that breakout of course can lead to a more significant sell-off, with the first main level of support will here around 91.5, but that after that you can expect another significant move down, and yeah, it moved down to 87.7. Now this is of course depending on your strategy, if you like to trade the breakout straight away or try to wait for a breakout below the previous low. Now it hasn't been retested yet. What I could imagine is that we come up a little bit and possibly retest, because typically after a breakout, what you normally do is you retest usually the previous low again. So I could imagine that we might be doing that. I mean, currently we're finding here a little bit support at this low here. Yeah, so we had here this high and this low. So the high at around 91.5 and the low at 86.4 all the way up to 87.4. So in this region we're currently finding support. I could imagine that we might see a bit of a correction of the downtrend, yeah, that we come up a little bit and retest the previous low. That would of course be quite a bearish signal, would provide another entry opportunity for anybody who might be looking for a short trade. But that is up to you. That is no financial advice. It's just a typical trade setup. And if that retest is then successful, you can expect that move down. We can see the indicators turning further down as well, indicating a further downtrend anyway, until we at least get above the 91.7 cent level. That downtrend continues to be at play. You can see the 4-hour chart here. The MACD made a bearish cross. Yeah. Let's see what the RSI is doing. That is now nearly oversold. That would match my view that we could see here a retest of that 91 cent level before we continue the move down. Look at the 8-hour chart here. Also here a bearish crossover on the MACD. So, and also here we are now oversold. So I would expect a little bit of a move up. Yeah, the indicators are very, very low still. That is probably also why that drop wasn't even more. But on the daily, you can see there is even more space to move down lower. So yeah, we could move up, stay in the bearish range, maybe on the 4-hour and the 8-hour, and then continue our move down, because on the daily there is further scope for further downside. Here the MACD as well, just turning further down again. So there is not yet any upside momentum. Obviously, as you can see here, there is no possible reversal to the upside. So the downtrend continues to be at play. And what we did here with that triangle was nothing else than just a consolidation pattern in a downtrend, because we were oversold on various time frames, the 8-hour, the 4-hour, so that we have recovered a little bit over the long weekend, or at least consolidated a little bit, which is typically what prices do before the trend continues down. So as always, a downtrend, you have to expect that a downtrend is at play until it isn't anymore, and it isn't anymore until the previous low and the previous high are taken out, the swing high and the swing low. Now that hasn't happened, and therefore it was just logical to assume that we come down further. So we get closer here to that potential low at 78 cents and 75 cents, and the further we drop, the more likely it gets that we even reach here this target area that I haven't taken out actually. Let's see if we actually in the end get there. We don't have to, I have to make that clear. We don't have to get there. Cardano could already reverse at some point here, because it has done the minimum requirements that it needs to do to complete its correction. But obviously at the moment the downtrend is at play, and we get closer and closer again to that 55 cent level. But I expect significant resistance here in the area between 75 and 78 cents. So that's my view about Cardano. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. If you really like the content, then check out the channel membership, where you can get access to the Telegram live chat, the Discord server, and a weekly live stream. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And for both, you can find the links in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.